G'day, this is Scotty Tucker, floating around Queensland at the moment, and had a customer that needed a hand with cleaning one of the Air-O-Lator units, so I thought what a good opportunity to shoot a video for those of you that have got Air-O-Lator or considering Air-O-Lator, to show you how easy it is to clean it, but also what to watch out for and the importance of keeping it clean. So on with the bathers, on with the Queensland work shoes, and let's get in it and give it a clean. Now this one's in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, so the weather's always warm, always awesome, but this is a bit of a new one for me. You can see there's some kind of growth that's been growing on the top of the float. It's very, very common to get a lot of duck crap on these floats, but yeah, this is a new one for me. So there's something that's growing here that likes the conditions, but regardless of what it is, you want to get it off the float, because you don't want that, if birds do jump on here, it's going to get sucked off into the strainer basket. Now this one hasn't been cleaned for a long time, and you can see in here what the result of that is. So you can see the protecting cage is doing its job and it's protecting it, but even that's you know, very much enclosed now with very thick growth. Anything that goes underwater is going to get a biofilm that grows on it, and then things just start growing on top of the biofilm, and you just get growth on growth on growth. So you know, it's a testament to the motor and to the equipment that it's working away under these sorts of conditions. But you don't want to rely on the quality of the motor to you know, to protect itself. You want to make sure that you give it a helping hand by fairly regular cleaning. So we're going to take this out and get it in the shore and give it a good clean out. Now you can see here, when the customer's installed this, they've put a cable tie across the cable, tying the cable off to the corner of the float. That's always a very good idea, because what happens is that if you don't do this, and let's say there's some fluctuations with wind and wave action with this going up and down, or the water level drops, or stupidly someone tries to pull this in by the cable, which you should never ever do, but if any of those sort of things happen, then that cable tie is taking the tension off the cable that runs up towards the motor, and all of the tension and the pulling is on this point here. So it's a very good way to protect the longevity of your cable running into your motor, to do that. God knows what that is. It stinks to high heaven. Let's get it off and take it in the shore. We don't really want that dropping around close to the boat, not close to the float. This stuff can get pushed off. She stinks. Alright, now I'll just start pulling this algae and crap off. So the basket's doing its job. And yeah, these motors, they need to be, you can see the bare metal there that I've scratched away. That's where the result that you want to have. You don't want to have this biofilm on there. What that does is it acts as a thermal blanket. It keeps the heat inside, whereas the heat wants to escape from the motor. And over the long term, what will happen is that will potentially cook the motor from inside. Just over a long period of time, the motor's running hotter than what it should, which is not a good thing. So that's why you always want to keep this as clean as possible. Other brands, other manufacturers will use an oil-filled motor, and they generally don't tell you this, but what happens with oil-filled motors is that you've got to do oil changeovers, and you've got to do seal changeovers. Every 12 to 18 months you're up for $500, $600, $700 in doing the seal changeovers, so people don't do it, and eventually the oil goes bad. With these ones, one of the very good things about these units is that they don't use oil-filled motors. So as long as you keep this clean so that the motor can cool itself, that's essentially all you need to do from a motor point of view. The other thing you need to do from time to time is potentially change the prop, and again, this is on any surface aerator, because what happens, water's corrosive, and when these props are moving around and spinning like crazy, the blades themselves will wear down unevenly, and what can happen then is that you get an uneven blade that causes the shaft that runs down the motor to be spinning sort of awkwardly, and again, over time that can damage bearings. Same sort of thing on a boat propeller. Those of you that own boats, every now and then you'll get your boat your prop machined. So with these right-on props, they're cheap enough that you just replace them every year or two if you're worried about it, and otherwise you just inspect it and make sure that they're not wearing unevenly. And the stainless ones, you can take them to a boat shop and get machined, but again, generally most people just sort of change them after a few years, or when they're in need of it. Now you can see, if you get to this when it's still wet, a bit of elbow grease is all you need. excuse the shaky camera work, but if you let it dry out too much and it cakes on, then you might need to start using like a descaler or something to get it off. And you can also do this when it's in the water, like, you know, you can just lift it out onto the side of the float, and obviously make sure you don't drop it, but just give it a wipe down with a rag, just to get the bulk of it off. You want it clean. It doesn't have to be as new, as long as the majority of this crap's off, then you're fine. The other place that you can't see but the props can wear down over time is on the inside where the prop sits on top of the motor on the spline, and these little grooves in here over time, when you get grit and debris in there, can wear down, and that can cause the prop to slip on the motor, which can put strain on the motor and also potentially damage the motor. So it's these little things that you want to look at, and better off to change a prop every now and then rather than have a motor damaged over long term. Also a good idea to check inside your control box. We found a hell of a lot of ants and God knows what other sort of insects in here, so we've sprayed them and put down some ant dust, but yeah, you don't want to have those guys making nests in here because they will eventually start damaging your wiring. So yeah, just make sure that you don't get nasties growing in your control box.